fight fans? Getting situated here. About to start another edition here at Round One Sports Talk. I am your host, Edwin. Where do all fights start? Round one. So, I got a lot to talk about. Also, I want to get your guys' what's been going on in boxing. I stepped away for a day or two here and there. I had some family business I had to take care of. But like always, we all know how boxing moves fast. You know what I mean? So, what's been going on out there in the boxing world? Let me know. It seems like, what's up? He just went on live boxing North. My man, I wanted to hook up with him. I haven't been checking my messages. Yo, Ryan North, if you catch this video or you see it or anything, yo, my bag, bro. I just a little bit hectic with everything. Grandpa went back to the hospital. We've been in and out of there, but you know, you know, um, that's just my everyday life. But as boxing, and reporting and everything, I've been checking my messages and stuff, but it just, hasn't been like that kind of week. Like I could, I haven't been catching you. But if you see this, yo, I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? I understand your situation. You let me know. And we'll get this going. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. As far as everything else, boxing guys, Nick Ball comes out. He puts up a pretty good performance. I'm going to say a little bit better than pretty good. Okay, because I'm going to tell you right now, secretly, I thought Nick Ball had a tough fight in front of him. And I thought that if Nick Ball wasn't successful early on in that fight, that Rios was going to take it to him in the later rounds. I like going into the fight, that's how I saw it. That's exactly how I saw it in my head playing out. I was like, from Nick Ball's last fight, last 2-3 fights or whatever. The one thing is that he's a little short, right? And that doesn't mean anything. But for these guys, I'm just thinking that it's going to be a bigger guy that's going to understand distance and range, and he's going to be able to hold them out. And Nick Ball, and everybody knows his MO. It's not like his fighting plan strategy changed. He utilized the jab a lot more. I like the way a little bit more. I mean, he always used it to step in. I didn't like how he was out of position. When Nick Ball was coming in, he was, starting off with the right, and he would end up in the left stand because he was reaching a lot. But he saw that the times that he did do that, he made sure that his punches were landing on something, whether it was glove, him, his lower arms, shoulders, that when he was going forward with his momentum, what was stopping him just that little bit is that you hit something. Had Rios made a miss, whoo, and you know what I'm saying? And then Nick is out there like this in dead space. That's when you catch him. Boom, right? So I said to myself going into that fight, I was saying to myself, you know what? Just maybe these guys came up with a better game plan to isolate all of Nick Ball's qualities, but he burst through that shit, bro. And he had a good poker face. At first, like in the first round, second round, he was walking back to the corner. He made it look like, man, you ain't doing shit. And I kind of questioned it. I was like, oh shit, he's taking Nick Ball's punches well. Then all of a sudden, a round or two went on. I forget exactly how it went. Yo, Nick hit him with that shot. Bam! Yo, and dropped him. He hit him. Yo, it was flush. He caught him right here. Boom! And Homeboy just went down, and I was just like, wow. So that tone, from right that moment right there, I was like, I mean, I didn't think the fight was over. There wasn't enough to say, yeah, the fight was over. But from right there in that moment, it told me, one, he's got power. He can drop a bigger guy. Um, Another thing, that his cardio did hold up. So I was like, wow, that's pretty, like, you know, the answers, pretty much the answers that I was looking for in his last fight, where I felt like, you know, let's see him step it up to, like, to defend it, everything else, because you're a champion when you win the belt, but you're like among champions. This is not a rule, but in the locker rooms among champions, okay, you won the belt, no one can take that away from you. But if you defend the belt, now you're a champion, right? So, wow, he hits that mark, right? Guess what? Congratulations, great win. But life goes on, just like boxing goes on. No sooner that he steps out of the ring, within the next, I think it was 24 hours, 48 hours, I was aware of that Stephen Kubo Fulton just became his number one ranked opponent in their ranking system under their title. You see? So I was like, oh shit, that's a pretty good fight. Now, then, as more I started thinking about it, like, just like I didn't want to assess the fight then when I was just freshly watching Nick Ball, I said to myself, let me go back and watch both men. And here we are. Boom. I watched Nick Ball. I watched Stephen Kubo Fulton's fight. Um Stephen Kubo Fulton said one of the mistakes that he made coming back is that he took too much time to come back. And that, he was ring rusty, judging the punches, the distance, the speed of the punches. And being in boxing moments and learning how to deal with that. Facing adversity. There can be times we're coming off of a loss, under those bright lights, you get dropped or something, and you start to second guess yourself. Oh my God, am I about to lose again? Am I gonna lose two times back to back? You got your family out there, your wife. I don't know if he had his kids. Some fighters don't bring their kids to fights or their wives, but there were definitely a lot of fans. They were all thinking the same thing. Stephen Kubo Fulton got himself up off that mat, and he said to himself, I'm not out of this fight. I'm not finished yet. I can continue. And continue he did. He continued in the fight, and he started going forward and started applying your pressure. What's up, guys? I see you guys. Salute. And he started coming back into the fight. So Stephen Kubo Fulton showed that, I was nervous for him in that fight. There were a lot of exchanges that, just by a fraction, he might have not won that exchange. But in there, that's all it takes. And these guys are professional boxers. They train and position themselves in by that much. And it may look like dangerous to you. They're professionals. Sometimes their measurements are off. Right? And but Stephen Kubo Fulton came back in that fight. And the one thing I saw in that fight, at least he was faster. He appeared to be faster than the night against Naoya Inoue, but that can be deceiving when the other guy was faster than you. Naoya Inoue made Stephen Kubo Fulton look slow. I was like, shit. So if you put Stephen Kubo Fulton in his fight, I said to myself, Stephen's making him look slow. It's just, but if you put Naoya Inoue again, then I would be able to see. I'd be like, shit, you know? So that's why that's why I say I don't like to judge a fight fresh off watching the other fighter because you know you can just see that fighter's dominance coming off a massive win. And at that moment, you're thinking in your head, no one's beating my fighter. No one's beating my fighter. But, you know, going back, looking at Naoya Inoue and watching Nick Ball fight, I said to myself, how hard would this be of a fight for Naoya Inoue against Ball like that, right? Once I saw both their fights and I was assessing like Naoya Inoue, I said to myself, damn, that fight ain't gonna look the same. I don't think it's gonna look the same at all. I don't think Ball's gonna have this kind of success that he had off of this guy, like would have against Naoya Inoue. It's not gonna look nothing like that. Naoya Inoue's footwork, his in and out, and his ability to close distance real fast. Ball swings hard, powerful shots. His last three fights, he started the same exact way. All Nick Ball's last three fights, he started the exact same way. Go watch his fights. He throws really hard and strong. He's trying to get the attention of the other guy, but also hurt him early. That's his MO. He has good body work on the inside, but typically it's when the guy's already blocking up top and he's standing still. Then Nick Ball fires downstairs to the body. And I'm noticing that a lot of the guys that he fought, first he opened them up with hard punches. Boom, boom, boom. The guys are moving. They're moving. They're just circling, and he's following them. Again, boom, 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 boom. And he continues this pressure until he gets the guy to want to stand more in front of him in exchange. Then all of a sudden, the guy doesn't want to exchange no more. He's back on his bike running from Nick Ball, and Nick Ball is running. And that's when that lunging attack that's real effective for him comes into play. Once he got the guy evading, boom, he hits him with it. He does that a lot too. He's good at it. You know, all Nick Ball's career, he's fought nothing but bigger guys. I can imagine. I can't imagine too many guys coming in. He's fighting them his height. So he has developed a way of fighting bigger guys, taller guys. He understands these things. Naoya Inoue is 5'5", right? There's where a little bit of the problem is going to lie. Naoya Inoue is good when it comes to being one step ahead of his opponent. He seems like if he's not one or two steps ahead, he's at least one, right? And he puts boxers real quick in the match. Naoya Inoue is a very, very fast starter. There has never been a fight he's ever been in that he's been a slow starter. No, no. Naoya Inoue has come out a couple, against like Malin Tapales, lefties mostly. But he dispatched a lot of lefties early in his career because those lefties weren't all that good. But as you can see, if you are lefty and you're a little crafty and you're upper level, he'll settle in. He'll try to settle into the fight more, trying to, you know what I'm saying, read you. Naoya Inoue is gonna come out there and just like Tank Davis, what they like to do early is to test the person's intelligence in front of them. And I constantly say that because there are things in life, right, that you see sometimes when these coaches get some of these young men, what happens is the coach automatically assumes he knows X, Y, and Z. Coach takes the young man around 20 years old. He starts to teach them like high level shit that he's already been teaching his high level guys. So what happens is that kid doesn't, his beginning training like he should have gotten, it's not there. It's not there. And he kind of takes the kid straight from there. So you ever been in a situation where you can do the job, right? But the most basic part of the job, they never trained you on that. And it's like a small, and it would take a master to be able to see that. You see? And the thing is that some of these coaches don't slow down. They don't stop and think, I'm at a professional level. I'm training this guy at a pro level. I'm just started teaching this kid. I got to go backwards a little bit, back down to the basics to teach this kid. And the coach just starts training them side by side. And there they go from that moment. And his inexperience, there's going to be a gap. So sometimes that happens in boxing, more common than you would like to think. And Tank comes out and Naoya Inoue come out and they try that 3 checkmate move to see if, just in case, if I was to let everything, like let you from the outside and just start the traditional jabbing and you start settling into the fight and you start coming forward, you start fighting from there. If I come in like this and I step quick, boom, right? What was homeboy's name? I think it was the African, I forget his name. He knocked the dude out in like 1 second. It was like the official time is probably going to be 4 seconds before his head hit the ground. Or it's going to be like 10, 11 if the ref started counting like a dick, because they count all them seconds before the match is over, right? The match rang, you went boom, he went boom, 1 shot. Laid him out. I forget his name, man, but I could see the fight in my head, right? That's what happens. That's exactly what happens. He was a good fighter, and if he was getting into the rhythm of fighting, he would fight. But somewhere in his training, they didn't show him something, and he didn't think, and boop, he got caught cold. He was cold. He was, and you'll be able to catch dudes. So if you're standing in front of Naoya Inoue, he's going to test you fast. And, he's going to make what we call in boxing reads. There are certain tells that a boxer has. And if you're lucky to get film on your fighter, right? Naoya Inoue is probably going to get film on all the fighters from here on in, because the majority of the fighters he'll probably be fighting either be former world champions, #1 contenders, or a champion. See? So he's probably going to have film. Early in your career, sometimes it's tough to get film on guys, because guy got like 6 fights, and he's been fighting out there in the Philippines, and none of his fights were televised. So you don't got no film on your guy. That's when that Philippine guy comes in and knocks your guy out, and no one knew who the hell he was, and he had like 10 fights, and he's fighting like a fucking like a seasoned vet. I mean, he's busting your guy up. You're like, who the hell's this guy? And you couldn't get no film on him. That happens a lot in the gym. I've seen that happen a lot. There are other fighters that are fighting around the world, and sometimes they don't know too much about the fighter. So it's hard sometimes in the beginning to get a lot of film. There's a lot of fights that I know a lot of guys in the gym had to go out there on a whim. They had to basically react in the moment because they had no information on their fighter. And I'm not sure if the other guy had information on him. I can't, but for that side, yes. They basically train just to box, fight, react. React, set punches up, work off your jab, etc., like that. That's basically how they trained them, because they didn't have no film. Yeah, it happens. But late in your career, when you're like a world champion, that's pretty rare, you know. But look at Jerron Boots Ennis. Jerron Boots Ennis. Well, that was a late replacement under short notice. So that's a different situation. He didn't have time to train for him. I'm not sure. I think they might have had film on him. He just, yeah, that's a different situation. That's a different situation. When you don't have time to train for a guy too, and they say he had a bad performance because he didn't have time to prepare for him because he went into the fight fighting this guy, wanting to fight, hypothetically, right? He was going to fight this guy. This guy ends up getting injured. There's 2 weeks out for the fight. We got to get a late replacement. You say, I don't care. Get me anybody. They get you this guy. You didn't have a training camp. You go in there, you barely win the fight. You win the unanimous, a split decision. You win a split decision. It was a long night at the office. The microphones come out and they ask you. You say the first thing out your mouth, you're going to say, well, I didn't have time to prepare for him. I didn't have any film on him. I didn't know who he was about. But wait a minute. Neither did he. When do the people ask that question? You're saying, oh, you didn't have no time to prepare for him. Well, neither did he. Didn't he get the same 2 weeks you got? So what are you saying? But they'll say it. I remember when Jerron Boots Ennis was like, and his pops, they was like, yeah, we didn't know much about him. We didn't have enough time to prepare to, a full training camp. But I'm sitting there and I'm looking and I'm going, man, but the other guy had the same problem. Why is it that he fared so much better? So in a basic, what you're saying is if you don't got a right preparation to look him over, he almost beat you? So what if he had enough time to prepare? I'm not too sure here, right? Right? So, I'm using that as an example, but these are some of the things that happen in boxing, and then guys try to and I'm looking at him like, no, he had the same obstacle, my man. Like, yo, stop it. Yo, what's up, guys? How y'all doing? How y'all doing today, man? What y'all want to talk about? Let me go down and read some of y'all messages. Let's ask the questions, and let's talk about Angela Leo versus Nick Ball. The thing is that Stephen Kubo Fulton now is his mandatory, but Angela Leo and Nick Ball, actually, that would be an actual boring fight. That would actually be a boring fight. You know why I think about that? When two styles of the same caliber go, I've seen this before, and they go against it, you would think that it was Navarrete against somebody else, and they had the same style, and they were both wild guys. Boy, was that fight horrible. I was thinking that it was going to be explosive and fucking dynamic, and I was like, yo, this is going to be, because these are two wild guys. Bro, that fight was boring as shit. Both guys couldn't hit each other. They were both just fucking dysfunction. They look even worse. At least you needed one guy to look good, right? So when I think about Nick Ball and Leo, I'm like, they're both short. They'll probably be swinging, headbutting each other, and holding all night. Probably. Because I'm thinking that, that would be like putting freaking Esau Pitbull Cruz against Nick Ball. Right? And I would say Esau Pitbull Cruz, Nick Ball, bro. Oh, let's go. Two little Mike Tysons. And that shit ended up being a dud like a motherfucker because both of them are like they're equal. You have to have something off, like like um Luis Pantera Nari when he fought the Heartbreak Kid, right? The Heartbreak Kid and Luis Pantera Nari are the exact same fighter, but what? The Heartbreak Kid was a little bit bigger. He brought a different attribute. He was that much taller than him. They were the exact inside close, just bang on the inside, both of them. He brought elements to the fight, and that's what separated him in that fight. And he knocked out Luis Pantera Nari. He's one of the only men that knocked him out besides Naoya Inoue. So I was like, because they were like the same fighter, but they were off. In this scenario, they're like the same fighter, and neither of them brings none of them they got like about the same arm reach. They're about the same height. You know what I'm saying? There's no factors. So I'm sitting here thinking about it. When you said it, I'm like, damn, that would sound like an exciting fight, and I bet it would fucking be boring. Because I've seen that, but it does have a chance to be exciting. You don't have to think it's going to be boring because I'm saying it, but I'm just bringing that possibility and that option to you. It could be an electric fight. It could turn out way different, just like Anthony Joshua and freaking Dubois. I didn't see that going like that, did I? Right? Thing, but once again, that's not a good comparison on the topic that we're talking about. I'm just saying that in fights in general, when you didn't think a fight was going to be a certain way, fights have a tendency of always playing out a different way. And that's all I mean by correlation in that avenue. Not as the same scenario with Leo and Nick Ball. You know what I'm saying? I just think that, they just favor their wild style. The one thing about this, though, check it out, guys. I think Nick Ball would knock him out. There, I said it. I think Nick Ball would knock him out. You know why I think Nick Ball would knock him out? One, Leo's coming off getting knocked out, right? And when that happens, for some reason, it's easier to knock him out. It is. And they hesitate sometimes because now they finally got introduced to losing like that. You see how hard he took the loss? He was crying, right? And I don't think when he comes out, had he went and fought, let's say, Nick Ball in a perfect world, right? The thing that I like about Nick Ball's fight, his punches are straight sometimes. He'll go straight down the pipe. He hurt Rios a few times going straight down. His punches are fast, strong, and straight when he wants them to be. He'll hook him. Yeah, he'll hook him. But he got him. Leo doesn't typically throw a lot of straight. He's typically hooking and then getting too close. As soon as his foot crosses that threshold, he throws that uppercut right in between your guard, Leo. So if I got two short, stocky guys, two strong guys, kind of think that I want to believe that Nick Ball is the stronger one out of the both of them, but he's punches the straightest. And as we all know, the fastest way to the quickest way to from one point to the other is what? A straight line. A straight line. And I like Nick Ball's power. Straight line. His cardio is holding up. Everything he showed me. He wasn't tired. Ball's nose was busted up. Let's remember, I think he had a lot of problems breathing from out of his nose. And with all that, He was strong. He was strong into the end. So I was like, okay, that would be an interesting fight, but there's a part of me that thinks that it would be less exciting. You know what I mean? Yo, what's up, guys? Rich Boxing, what's up? What's good, man? Thank you, brother. Salute. Yeah, man, there's a lot of things going on over and a lot of these channels too over there. I was with my man KO. We was talking about Tank's situation and with Shakur and all that and everything, right? And I'm not gonna take a side at all. I'm not taking a side of who's right, who's wrong. In Tank's situation, right? I'm gonna ask you something. And if you agree with me, then at least we can get to a common ground. That's all I want, right? Let's see if we can get to a common ground. If I don't see something, please interject. Let me know. Teach me too, because I am also a student of the game. I want to be a historian of boxing. I don't know it all. And without you guys as my fans and people also giving me insight and feedback, how am I going to learn if I'm going to do all the talking, right? So come with it. Help me out. Let's help ourselves understand boxing together. I'm not right, and I don't claim to be wrong, right? So, Tank Davis' situation. And a lot of people are still going on with shows talking about he ducked, she ducked, whatever, duck, quack, right? Okay. This is what I have to say. If you're Tank Davis, or I'm Tank Davis, or Tank Davis is Tank Davis, right? And your very first option was who? Lomachenko, right? That's your very, very first option, right? Okay. Right before your eyes, is it true or not true? Lomachenko said he was at the negotiation table. He said, my heart is not into it. Now, these are not rumors. Was this not Lomachenko tweeting out this very text that I am repeating right now? Yes or no? Did Lomachenko tweet saying, my heart's not in it right now. I feel like I need to step away from boxing. I'll be back. Did he or did he not? Yes or no? So you're if yes, please type R1 for round one. Type R1. That way I know we're at least in an agreement with that. So we know that Loma was supposed to be the next fight. We couldn't get him in the ring. Okay? So what did Tank Davis do? He went down the line to his next option. During that commotion with Shakur Stevenson tried to sign with another fight. Did he or did he not? Had we signed Tank Davis versus Shakur Stevenson, didn't Shakur Stevenson break his hand while training? So if that was the scheduled fight, thank God that it wasn't, because Shakur Stevenson would be getting a lot of shit right now. But we wouldn't have gotten the Shakur Stevenson fight for Tank in November anyway. The Shakur broke his hand. The next man in line was the number one contender across the board, William Cepeda. Did William Cepeda himself text, I just had a baby at the time. I just had a baby. I need to spend time with my family. I'm going to go on vacation. Did he not text that himself? William Cepeda. He did, right? Okay. So your first option leaves. Your second option broke his hand. Your third option takes off to vacation. What exactly do you want Tank Davis to do? You keep yelling, I want to see him fight Shakur at the Tank. I just told you what happened. Those are the three scenarios, and those are 100% facts during that time. Not talking about today, during that time. As everything was unfolding, The number one guy don't want to fight you. The guy with the other belt don't want to fight you. And the other guy with the other belt doesn't want to fight you. And the other Ukrainian, Baranchek, right? He just won. He just won the belt at the time. So he was just fresh off of a fight. He could have took this fight. You know what he do? I need a vacation too. So now that Tank is standing there, he absolutely doesn't have anybody to fight him. Who do you want him to fight? Let's see. He's not going to fight Keyshawn Davis because you put him in the ring with Keyshawn Davis and he knocks him out. You're going to say that Keyshawn Davis wasn't ready. You're not going to put him in the ring with Ford, right? Ford Schofield. You're not going to put him in the ring. Edwin De Los Santos, he's not stepping in the ring. Andy Cruz, he's not ready. Who else? Isa Pitbull Cruz is trying to chase Jose Valenzuela at 140 for the rematch. So we don't know if that's gonna if that's what he's gonna do, because he's got the rematch clause, Isa Pitbull Cruz, and there wasn't one in the fight. Yeah, there was. So that's what I'm hearing. So Isa Pitbull Cruz is not gonna land on that. Who am I missing? He ain't fighting no George Camboza. Fucking Tank Davis fighting George Camboza, bro. He ain't fighting no damn fucking George Camboza, bro. Who else? I can't think of anybody. Mark. That dude, that Mark Cambridge dude. Right? That Mark. Yeah, he ain't gonna fight him. That's why they brought up this dude from 130, man, for Tank Davis. At least he's a world champion. At least Lamont Roach was a world champion, and Tank and him fought in the amateurs. And he's a brother with that, like, skill, like athletic wise. Bro, you think that this is like a fucking hand-me-down fight for Tank Davis? Whenever Tank Davis' name come across your desk, bro, that's fucking world life-changing opportunity shit there. He knocks out Tank Davis. What you think, there's no rematch? That's more money, bro. Lamont Roach should be in the gym killing himself right now. Don't overtrain Lamont Roach. You know what I mean by that. You train hard, but don't overtrain for a fight. Because sometimes you can overtrain and kill yourself coming into the fight. Then all of a sudden your body's not responding because you done ripped the muscles too many damn times. There's a way to train hard and not overtrain. Train smart, but hard too at the same time. You know what I mean? But Lamont Roach is definitely taking this fucking fight like this is his moment to shine. All I gotta do is beat this. He's a man. He bleeds just like me, you, and I. I don't know where these guys think that these guys are scared of me. They're professional athletes, bro. And I don't think they're scared of anybody. Lamont Roach, Tank Davis. I like it. I like it better than whoever else they probably would have got. Whatever other name. Look at Jose Valenzuela was offered to fight Tank Davis, but at 135, which goes to show me that Calvin Ford doesn't want Tank Davis at 140. So to all the fighting fans that are saying, why doesn't Tank just move up to 140? Maybe those guys never boxed. Maybe they're just on their couch or in a chair, and they're not really like thinking it through. Tank Davis is 5'5", bro. He's not a big dude. Yeah, he went up there and fought Mario Barrio, but Mario Barrio's never been like that fighter. That, you know what I'm saying? If he goes up there and he fights the elite 140 pounders, why do that to Tank? He doesn't listen. He's at 135, and that's too much. You got to understand that Tank Davis is kind of maxed out at 135. Do yourself a favor and go back and watch that fight against Mario Barrio. The first fucking round, bro. He doesn't even get out of his corner. I just want you to look at Frank Davids' physique. I want you to look at his face. He's like this, bro. Yo, and the man, yo, I gotta give it to fucking Tank, bro. I gotta give it to him. He was blown up, no abs. His stomach was round. His face was round. He didn't look like he missed a beat. That's special. When a man can do that shit like that, bro, Tank is he's a fucking. That's not. I'm trying to tell you, I fought for a while, man. I'm telling you, that is not easy to do. That is not easy. I'm telling you, man. You move up in boxing just 4 pounds, bro. These guys' punches seem so much heavier than where you're used to. Yo, Chris Colbert said it best when Jose Valenzuela hit him in the first round, in the first few seconds. He said, bam! He said, man, I got to drop back down and wait. With the first shot, he said, God, man, I got to go back down. It was too tough. There was a fight, in fact, a fighter, I forget his name, that got brought up to fight Tank Davis early off in his career. And Tank Davis ended up breaking his nose. Tank Davis ended up breaking his nose early and like knocking him out. When they interviewed him after the fight, the guy said, "Yo, I felt his punch too heavy." Tanks. He said, he was that was too much, and that dude went right back down to his weight class. Yeah, just one weight class, just moving one time. Tank Davis is a natural 130 pounder, but there was no big superstars at 130. There was no Ryan Garcias, no Devin Haney's, none of that at the time. So Calvin Ford and Tank Davis made a boxing career decision and to move up. What really affected Tank Davis was PBC wanted to do a lot of in-house fights. They didn't work with a lot of boxing promoters, and Tank's career kind of suffered through that. You know, Calvin Ford, Tank Davis was coming up. They were just as new to the pros as, just together. They were both new, Calvin Ford and Tank. And probably Mayweather was telling them, yeah, you're going to fight for a belt here, a belt there. Tank probably was on the impression that, these are real world titles and that they do count and this and that. Like they typically lie to all fighters. Tank got smarter, became aware of his surroundings, what was happening to his career, and he wanted out. He wanted out. He was done. He was like, Mayweather, you're a good dude. You did a lot for boxing, but you're more focused on traveling the world because, brother, you're young. He's enjoying his money, the fruits of his labor. And to be a boxing promoter, he kind of left it all to Lenny Ellerbe. That's why now today, Lenny Ellerbe, in fact, has also split ways with Mayweather. He no longer works with Mayweather promotion, Lenny Ellerbe. But Lenny Ellerbe still works with Tank Davis. And Tank Davis still works with Lenny Ellerbe. And Tank Davis still fucks with the PBC and Al Heyman. He just doesn't mess with Mayweather. Everybody, the PBC, everybody still are in cahoots, and it seems like Mayweather's the one on the outside, but yet he's the one saying that he's right, that they're wrong. I don't know what the conflict of interest was there. I'm not in the room. I'm not Tank. I don't know none of these dudes personally. I can only tell you in what I see in the bickering between Tank Davis and Floyd Mayweather online. It doesn't look good, and disrespecting one of our legends, Tank, no matter what your debate is, but that's a legend in your sport, a man that paved the way for you to become the man you are today. If they weren't giving out that Mayweather money back then, and fighters didn't see that they can take this to another level, they'd probably be still paying us peanuts for fights. Had it not been for men like this, Tank. Reason why you got a $200 million contract with Prime 6-fight deal type shit, because of people like this. So I understand your conflict, young man, but show respect to the legend. One day there's gonna be a kid looking up to you. You're gonna become a legend, Tank. And that kid coming up like sticking his middle finger at you, Tank, as an older man, saying, I'm gonna beat your records. You didn't do shit. Yeah, you got the bag, but you only a 2 division world champion. Tank, what you saying? Who you fight? When it looks back on your record, Tank, and this kid's coming up disrespecting you, and you're telling him, bro, if I was 20 years younger, I smack the shit out of you, kid. You know, you should be showing me respect. It's kind of how Floyd feels. So how you treat your legends, I hope they treat you. That's it. You know what I mean? Durant versus Tank, homie. Yo, nah. When I go into training for the Notre Dame's belt, it's just me in front of a TV screen looking at hours of fights, just training to you know what I'm saying, so that I can make my prediction correctly. You know what I mean? Front line, you don't have that level of dedication. You think I'm out here splurging and everything, but I'm not. As soon as you show me I'm up here just talking, I turn around. There's a screen right here. I'm watching fights. See what I'm saying? I'm always training. I'm always training. You know what I mean? You don't got that level of dedication, front line. That's why the Notre Dame's title has been evading you. You know what I mean? For quite some time, in fact. But let's not bring that up. You know what I mean? Anyway, fight fans. Armando, what up, baby? Front line. Yo, Bam, you've been a little quiet. What's going on, Bam Bam? Talk to me. Talk to me, Bam. What is it? What did you say right here? Let's see. Let me bring this up. Who's getting ready for his next fight? Damn, man. Tim would have won that fight if it wasn't for that cut. Yeah, absolutely, brother. I mean, you know, all right. Yo, the good thing about Tim Zoo, I gotta admit this. I mean, you said it best right there. There's really nothing for me to cover on. I 100% agree with you. Um, had he not sustained that injury, that fight would be a different fight, 100%. So I'm not gonna even assess that. But what I will assess on the behalf of Tim Zoo is the way he took the loss, the kind of class and respect. He didn't look for any excuses. Tim Zoo didn't become Teofimo Lopez. Tim Zoo did not turn into Lomachenko. Tim Zoo did not turn into these guys with all the excuses in the world of why they lost. Tim Zoo could have said, yo, it's apparent look at this cut. You could put 3 fingers inside my head. I was bleeding all night. They couldn't stop the blood. It was apparent I couldn't see. Right? He could have legitimately said that. Would he felt good about himself? Would some fans would have pushed back? Would he got a little? No. You know what Tim Zoo does? Real class act. I lost, fair and square. The night wasn't mine. Congratulations, champ. Hope to fight you again. Thank you. Bro, man. Take responsibility. Move on to the next. Don't hold on to that loss. No, man, it was a cut. No, I was blind. You know what I mean? I don't feel like he beat me. I'm taking you to court for my belt. We're going to court. Right? Loma threatened to take Devin Haney to court for the loss. They felt like they won it. Didn't Loma and his team say, soon as they got out the ring, I'm going to take it to court. We're going to appeal this decision. Right? When they lost the appeal, they didn't go to court. You know? I was like, man. Tim Zoo was like, he was a real man's man about that shit, bro. Yo, until this day, even after the fight, right? They had him on he was in a gym. I believe he was in his gym. Not too sure about that, but he could have been in any gym. But they're interviewing him. I think it was, one of those. I don't want to say the wrong one. Okay. So, buddy, I watched the video and they were talking about the fights a few months later. In fact, remember he was trying to get on that Terrence card with Israel Madachek? Remember Tim Tszyu was scheduled on that fight. Then they didn't clear him to fight. So then they had to pull him off the card, right? Okay. And I think he was actually in the gym preparing for said fight that didn't go through. And he still took accountability. Tim Tszyu, the whole thing. He took accountability for everything. I've never heard him say publicly, yo, man, nah, that's bullshit. Blah, blah. Real class act, that guy. Real class act. I like that. I like that about a fighter, you know, not bitching. Loss or loss, whatever. Yeah, this shit happened in there. You saw it, I saw it, but at the same time, you know what? Shit happens in boxing. When I signed the contract, I noticed there are headbutts, fouls, all kinds of shit that happen in boxing. You know, and for that part, I was like, wow, that was good. That was good. That was really good. No excuses, like Devin. yo, he's full of them. Tio is too. If you ask Tio about his losses, that loss to George Camboza, to this day, no, he didn't lose that fight. To this day, he didn't lose that fight to George Camboza. Tio can't fucking deal with it. I know 100 fighters. Loma's the only fighter that lost, right? And he's still, according to him, undefeated. Nobody, according to Loma, has beaten him. He didn't lose to Devin Haney. He didn't lose to Tio. Right? I'm like, man, these guys don't know how to lose. These guys can't accept losing. And that's at least Tim Tszyu is a man's man when it comes to winning and losing. He knows how to win, he knows how to lose. He never knew how to lose, but he suffered his first loss as a professional. And he showed a lot of class, and that's all I got to say about that. I like a lot of class. Definitely. There's some guys that will accept the loss, but still give you excuses of why they lost. In between there, he didn't do that. That's the difference between Tim Tszyu and a lot of these fighters. He didn't do any of that shit. He said, nope, lost. The night was his, fair and square. I tipped my hat off to him. What do you want me to say? Just like that. He's like direct with it, with the loss. He's nope. Congrats to him. He won, fair and square. Yeah. And I was like, ooh, I can respect that, my man. I can respect that. That's a man that's like, brush the loss off. I got to get in the gym. I'm going to get better. I'll be fighting you again. And I believe Tim Tszyu, he is a problem at 154. He is definitely a problem at 154 with that, and then, and that's fucked up, right? Because my little young man, young Xander Zion, man, he's in 154, man. That is just one of the hardest divisions right now, man. 160 middleweight doesn't look that tough, but those are some big boys. Those are some big boys, right? Right? But man, Xander Zion got it tough right now. What a division to be in. I know Xander Zion, right? Because I got my eye on my little guy, right? And I'm saying to myself, right? He wants to fight somebody in the top 5. I'm like, whoa. Wait a minute, Xander Zion. Like, chill out, bro. Chill out. Right? Like, you might be more confident than I am in you, right? Right? Because, like, I don't want to fucking hurt him or anything, And I'm saying to myself, just think about the top 5 guys at 154. Who are they? You got Terrence Crawford, right? It's Terrence Crawford, Sebastian Fundora, Tim Zhu, uh, Ortiz, Victor Ortiz, um, Israel Matachaw, Israel Magachaw, the one that Terrence Crawford fight. So shit, that's like the top five guys. And then under those guys, right? That's where you got like um Romans, Conwell, um Mendoza. I can't pronounce his name, but I can see his name in my head. It's like the all these dudes, man, these like they got like the name that goes like bucket check like that, and it sounds like the same, but it's like different wording, and I don't want to damage my man's name. So I'm like, damn, bro, 154 is tough right now for fucking young Xander Zion. And I'm like, man, like, who are you gonna fight, kid? That's a tough division, bro. He looked strong. He looked good. He didn't look like per se like I mean he has it, but when guys know how to roll with punches better and they're slipping punches better, you're typically not gonna land like that flush punch, unless you really got a beat on your opponent. Then you can, um. But Xander Zion looked like he did great. He did great. Sohas, like Sohos or whatever, how you pronounce that. Um, he was there to fight him. I'm just worried for him before he starts talking crazy and saying he wanted one of the top five guys. I mean, listen, it's like a dad, man. You never know when your little boy is ready to take the training wheels off the bike. He tells you, Dad, I'm ready to get off the training wheels. And typically, until I kept them on until like he bent both sides of the training wheels, that the one side is bent on one side because he typically favors one side. And then he starts learning how to ride. And then he goes to the other side. And then sometime I'll come outside and he'll just be riding the bike thinking the training wheels are working, but he's been bending them so much from leaning that they're actually in the air. And he comes up to me and he says, Dad, I think we should take them off. I'm like, maybe one more day. Yeah. I turn around, I'm like, maybe one more day, because a dad is always gonna be protective, you know what I'm saying? At least I am, right? And maybe he might feel like he's ready. He's ready to test the waters. And the more he gets training camp, sparring and everything, the next time we see him in another 6 months or so, he might just be ready. He might just be ready. You're gonna have to find out. I wish I had the regular like the ranking for these guys right now up, but uh um oh yeah, and then also you got Errol Spence Jr. Errol Spence Jr. is 154, and he's not even out of 154. It's not clear that he's coming back to fight because it seems like my man got a lot of problems. Then you might even have the Charlo twins coming back, bro. Damn, bro, the 154 is stacked, baby. That shit is stacked, man. Man, that shit is stacked. Fuck Sanders Zion. In a situation like this, young Xander Zion, bro, you need to ask yourself, is this the road you want to travel? Is this what you want to be in life? What are your goals? Is one of your goals to become world champion? These are men that are in your way. They're men, they bleed just like you. You got a chance of being just as skilled or just as powerful as them. It's due in part to how far are you willing to go to become a world champion. Is every moment of your life dedicated to your craft? Every waking moment? I mean, you don't have to work out every day, but you can work out in multiple ways on your craft, whether it's looking at video, learning about other techniques, sparring, training, working out, properly sleeping, resting, eating properly. Is your life a fighter's life completely? And maybe, just maybe, you'll get a shot at a world title. Or you going to be ready to defend it? You might think that the beginning was long and it was hard to get where you're at. But the minute you win that world title, that's where everything starts. You haven't even got to the middle yet of your career. You're going to have to defend it, perhaps move up, become a multiple division world champion if that or if those are your goals, or stay in your division and chase down the remaining of the titles. Why are you in the sport? How far are you willing to go? So young Xander Zion, although I might think there's a lot of competition at 154 pounds, what did you get into boxing for? To prove you were the best, right? So it's no longer they're in the room with you. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got to prove to them you were always him. You were here the whole time. You were just looking for your opportunities. One by one, you're going to have to show it. So, young Xander Zion, just like Ryan Garcia walked into 135 with all those killers, Ryan Garcia went swimming with the sharks. Did he not? Oh, yeah, he did. And we didn't think he was as skilled of the rest of those great white sharks in that water. Tank Davis's of the world, Shakur's, Loma's, Devin Haney's at the time. He hadn't fought him then. Teofimo Lopez was in there. Yeah, that was a tough division. You're in a similar situation, young Xander Zion. It's time to get that fishing pole out. We might have to go deep sea fishing and catch us yourself an Errol Spence Jr. shark. Got one. Let's go. You know what I mean? Can't be scared now. Can't be scared now, young Xander Zion. Woo! Let's go. You know, hey, win, lose, or draw, I'm always going to be and I'm always going to remain from the show me state. That's how I built my life. It doesn't make me better, tougher than anyone. But if I have a situation, I don't go around picking fights or being a bully to nobody. But if somebody came up and challenged, then the only way I look at that, it's my moment. It's my time to shine. That's the only way I look at it. I'm like, oh shit, opportunity, my time to shine. That's all that's how I look at it. You know what I mean? So imagine how these guys feel. Well conditioned, well shaped, well trained. I'm pretty sure young Xander Zion feels the same way, man. I'm pretty sure he feels the same way. You know, so hey, look, man, let's see what happens. I'm still trying to look up. I've been trying to get in contact with Subriel Matias, man. I really want to see if I could reach out to him and talk to him and shit. Um, I'm still thrown back by this whole Liam Paro fighting in San Juan, Puerto Rico deal with Roach there. Little still a little like part of me is like, huh? Like, will that fight really happen? And it's crazy. Like I checked it out and shit, and it's like fucking. It's really up there. It's on the schedule, man. They got Liam Parles' picture and freaking Richard Hitchenson's picture, man. And I'm just like, man, bro, in Puerto Rico, after he went to Puerto Rico and took the belt from our Puerto Rican fighter, he scheduled a fight. Whoa. I'm like, there's a lot of ways you can look at that. Am I right? Am I bugging? Am I the only one that's bugging? Like, and then Subria's not on that card, right? I mean, he was rumored to want to come back and fight in November. Subriel, right? Then that opponent got announced with Subriel, right? Then I was like, okay, where's his fight? And then the Liam Paro fight came out. And then I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then a couple more days went by and then the story changed again. So where was I? What's up, guys? You guys over here just killing it. What was Frontline doing? Oh, what? I'm checking out some stories. When it's just live, Ryan Garcia. It's time to what? I saw Ryan Garcia the other day on I believe what social media platform it was, and he was like accepting the or saying that he would accept to fight Devin Haney in the rematch, and that he claims that he's working hard still in the gym. You know, any boxer is gonna say that, right? You know, I don't know how much of that is true, but he Ryan Garcia is already hinting to the fact that he will in fact fight Devin Haney again. You know what I mean? In which that's just a bad fight now coming into it. Had Devin Haney gotten back in the ring and gotten a win in between and then fought Ryan Garcia, I'll be like, okay, right? Like try to get yourself away from that fight. You know what I'm saying? Try to get yourself some confidence, you know, and not necessarily get him a tomato can, because the tomato can's not gonna help your guy. Cause he's gonna know this guy was never on my level. You just got me a tomato can. He's not gonna feel good about the victory. You don't want to do that. I would have definitely put him to fight Sandal Martin, yeah, but the situation with Sandal Martin, so that fight probably would have never occurred. So, but Roach, right? No, um, I would have put him to fight Gary Antoine Russell. I'd have put him to fight him, Devin. Because it's a tough fight, but it's a winnable fight. Gary Antoine Russell, he does come forward, strong puncher, a lot of pressure, you know. But if you can box well, you can see when the guy gave him his very first loss, how he worked around that power, how he utilized his foot movement, how he used sharp punching on the inside, how he utilized his jab. He didn't stay mid range with him, you know, proper boxing. He taught him a boxing lesson that night. So if you were to get the Devin Haney is typically a boxer. He can box if you let him box. So I thought that the Gary Russell Jr. guy, he was a strong fighter. I don't think that he was fighting guys of much caliber yet. I think he was more talk than anything than proving that he was on that level. As soon as he got to beat the brakes off of him, well, it didn't beat him like that. I'm not gonna lie. It was still a close fight, but my man was hitting him with some clean shots and using good angle and good footwork and working around his shots is so nice that he was just outboxing him. So I was like, all right. So I probably would have put Devin in against a strong fighter or something. Like I said, not a tomato can because it's not going to boost his morale knowing you just put in a tomato can against him. You want to give him a guy that that's in the division. So, and then go back and revisit the Ryan Garcia fight. But he's probably going to end up going from the Ryan Garcia fight out a year to the Ryan Garcia fight. That's just going to be bad business, man. He's going to get hurt again. Devin Haney is going to lose to Ryan Garcia yet again. That's what's going to happen. He's going to have a year out. I know Ryan's going to have a year out too. Yeah. So you mean to tell me you didn't sharpen up on your skills and you accepted to take, like, you got suspended? Ryan Garcia got suspended for a year, not you, Devin Haney. What have you been doing? Why are you waiting for him? They might as well gave you the suspension because you didn't do anything with your time, or you're not doing anything with your time. Because as you can see, Ed Hearn moved on from him. He got Liam Paro another fight. He's not fighting Devin Haney. The WBC is moving on from Devin Haney. They're putting somebody else to fight for his belt. The WBA is moving on. I'm like, everybody's gone. I don't think Bob Arum's going to give you Teofimo Lopez. The WBO. Why would Bob Arum put a fight against Devin Haney? For what? He's not going to feed him Devin Haney. Devin Haney ain't going to be able to he ain't going to have, man, listen. Bob Arum ain't putting that fight together, brother. He's just not. And I think Teal will probably take the fight now. Teal's a sucker. He sees a wounded duck. Teal will take that fight right now against Devin. He probably would. But I don't think Bob's going to help him. Like I said, these boxing promoters don't like fucking with each other a lot, but they work with each other. They understand the value of their position in the sport of boxing as boxing promoters. If you allow these boxers to say they don't need you anymore, then if you keep allowing that to happen, what happens when they really don't need you anymore? Right? So Bob Arum might not be in Ed Hearn's business or Golden Boy's business, but they talk. They understand their positioning in boxing. And when it's time to teach a lesson, all these boxing promoters are going to close their doors. He won't be able to sign with any of them to fight any of their fighters. Whatever's left in the smaller boxing promoters, I can guarantee you they ain't none of the fighters at the top. When Devin Haney goes to fight to say, listen, I'm out on the limb. They blackballing me. I took it to court. I won the money. Nobody's trying to fight me. So I'm fighting this guy. And he can explain his situation all he wants. He can come on and say, listen, the powers that be are blackballing me. They're not giving me the fights. What are they going to do? Just like they've been doing for the last 100 years. Yeah, we heard you. And you can't do anything about it. We're blatantly looking you in your face like what? So go ahead, tell them again on YouTube. Devin, this time look to the side and give your better angle. Now, if you want, shed a tear. We don't give a. They gonna black when Kaepernick did that knee thing in the NFL. Has he thrown another pass in the NFL? Can you agree that that's blackballing David Kaepernick in the NFL? Right? And the NFL knows it. How many interviews has he been on telling them, yo, you're blackballing me? And the NFL looked at him in the face and said, yeah, we know. So what? This is ours. The NFL belongs to us. We're not no tied affiliated with any groups, government officials. We own the NFL. We dictate what the governor fucking wrote the NFL. Give them another chance. They ripped the letter up. You don't tell us we own the NFL. And yes, we're blackballing you, and so what? But I guarantee you one thing. You will never throw another football, not on this field, not on an NFL football field. You would ever throw another pass. And he said, what'd he say? Yeah, right. You guys are not bigger. I'll beat you guys. Really? Really? When Donald Trump said that shit about the knee and Donald Trump went over there and talked to them fucking football guys and they all looked at Donald and was like, we got you. You're blackballed. He ain't throw another pass. And he was young as hell when they did that to him. David Copper, I can't, what the fuck? Tongue tied today. Kaepernick was at the height of his career at that time. He ain't never been on a football field again. He wanted to go and do all this political shit. Look what happened to him. I've seen this happen in different sports all over. Soon as Devin Haney steps in that courtroom, blackballed in boxing. Mark my word. Let him do what he wants. Go ahead. Chill. He'll probably never earn another world title, and not because his skills or not because he wasn't good enough. No world champion is going to sign him to fight him. And it's not going to be because the world champion doesn't want to fight him. It's going to be because the boxing promoter, where it starts from. In order to get to his world champion, you got to go through the boxing promoter. You'll never get to the champion. The champion can be saying, yeah, I'll fight Devin Haney. Devin Haney, I will rock you. Devin Haney's, they're yelling at each other. Yeah, I'll rock you. I'll rock you. Meanwhile, Ed Hearn is standing right there saying, fight's not going to happen. The fight is not going to happen. That fight in particular, that's not going to happen. But we got another fight over here. It probably is not going to be because he ain't good enough to get there. Oh, he's good. Kaepernick, it wasn't because he wasn't good enough that he never played because he couldn't throw a football. Yeah, he could still throw a football. That wasn't the reason why he didn't get back on the field, was it? Wasn't because he had a blown knee. Wasn't because he was hurt. If you put him on the football field, I'm pretty sure he could throw a touchdown. Right? It's not going to be because Devin Haney's not going to be skilled enough. They're just not going to give him the shots. Keep playing around with these dudes, bro. You ever hear the expression, choose your own battles? Not every win is a win. Not every dollar is a dollar. Not all money is good money. Even I know that. Sometimes you can have somebody in position. You can have the scope on them. Target set. And only you understand why you didn't take the shot. You know, this could all look bad for Devin right now. Maybe. He could pull out of the no diddy the lawsuit. They can call him names. Maybe. He can have his back against the wall. Other people could be fighting for his title and they can ask him, Devin, Does this bother you that someone else is fighting for your title? Maybe. That person wins the belt. All of a sudden, Devin works his way up. All of a sudden, somebody gets hurt. They got to call somebody to show up for the fight. This guy's on vacation. This guy can't take the fight. Who do you got? Oh, shit. Call Devin Haney. All of a sudden, you're in front of a world title fight again. Would have all that been bad? Maybe. Maybe it could be a blessing in disguise and set him up or line him up and knock him down and become undisputed world champion again. You never know where this leads. But I know one way where it leads and how it's going to go. And I know in a business, in order to stay alive in the world or keep your business afloat, you got to make yourself valuable. You got to, no computer can be made to take your position. No robot, what you bring to the game can't be bought as a boxing promoter. The ties, the connections you have throughout boxing, throughout all the world, all the countries, every place, every man, every small promoter you've ever met, the ins and outs of the game, you can't buy that. You got to keep yourself as a boxing promoter valuable. If these kids start seeing, I don't need a boxing promoter, I could do this on social media and where's that going to leave them? So for that, they will come together and they will vow not to work with them. And they'll call each other and say, yo, if somebody does this to you, I'll be there for you. You be there for me now. All right, Bob, turn your back on him because I'm Oscar De La Hoya. And let's just remember that Bob Arum and Oscar De La Hoya, Bob Arum was his boxing promoter. Bob Arum taught Oscar De La Hoya basically everything he knows about boxing promoter. Well, Frank did and Rich, right? That's opinionated, but I know that Bob, he had to have showed him. So I really can't say that because I don't know that too. But he was his boxing promoter and he followed suit with him. He loved that old man at one time. So, you know what I mean? So I know Bob Arum knows Oscar De La Hoya's phone number, and I know they would be talking. He like, yo, Bob, if this ever happens to you, when Terence Crawford was taking you to court and you was telling us we would have to blackball and we had your back. They're gonna do the same. It's a dog eat dog world, bro. It's a dog eat dog world. And in order to keep control on something, that's exactly what you would have to do. You would have to keep control of the boxing world by letting these young men come in and do this shit, start yelling, pounding their chest. I don't need a boxing promoter. I'm DHP. I'm Tank Davis. Well, then, it's time to bring these guys back down to earth because these guys have been here 20 plus years doing this. You think they're just gonna be cool with it and be like, yeah, push me out of boxing. I'm not any good. Don King, what happened with him? He just got too old he got sick. And Don King actually would have been around in the game a lot longer had he not did like a fucking 20-year bid in prison. He did like an outrageous amount of time in jail. When Don King came out and he was a boxing promoter, he was coming out of a freaking, I'm not sure if it was a federal prison or state prison, one of them. You know what I mean? But yeah, and then unfortunately, you've seen over the years, poor Don King, his health start to deteriorate. He's old, man, but God bless him, man. He be out there only in America with the two flags. Yo, He was a shark. Don King was a gangster gang. He was a cold-blooded gangster. Don King. In real life, like, I say in real life because you see him on like the TV. Because I know about Don King personally. Like, I know about Don King. Like, this man would sit in the office with like some of the greatest fighters in the world, the Mike Tysons, Lewis's, you name it, Riddick Bowes. There's some big fucking men. And them dudes tried Don King once or twice. Yeah, they did. They tried him. They tried to do like grab his jacket type shit. Like, let me tell you something, buddy. You're gonna pay me like, and that was the last time they grabbed his jacket. I guarantee that. I guarantee that. That was the last time they grabbed his jacket. Because whoever that boxer was that grabbed his jacket, I don't give a fuck if it was Mike Tyson. I'll tell the truth. Mike Tyson knew there was too many guns in that room. He knew it, just like I know it. And them dudes got brass knuckles and everything. They will fuck you up, bro. Motherfucker will taser you. You'll go down. They beat the shit, bro. They will throw you out of that. And like this, man, listen. Don King was a gangster, bro. Like a real fucking thug, man. Yeah, he was. I don't know what people know about him. Maybe I shouldn't be saying this. I don't know. I mean, he's old now. I don't think he's the same man he was then. Mm. Why you think he took all that money from Mike and Mike couldn't do nothing? Like, why you think Mike ain't never smacked him? Why you think Mike Tyson ain't never not? That's the most fucking ruthless boxer man in the planet. He ain't never smacked Don King in public. He always said, what he say? Oh, he's a bad man. He's a very bad man, a very bad man. He wouldn't do nothing. Man, listen. He was him. He was really him. You went up there trying to talk that killer shit. Don King reminded you, you're not in a boxing ring when you're in my office. I hang around with a lot of killers too. They're right here. What were you saying? You like your right hand? Can you bring the hammer over here? I'm gonna take away a finger right, your knuckle right now, but this is just to teach you a lesson. Yo, this man went crazy. yo, they was on some shit. They was on some shit. I'm not saying he ever did that. I never seen that done. I'm just, talking out the side of my neck right there. I just want to clear that up with Don King. Yo, he's the real deal. At one time anyway. I don't know about now. Mhm. I'm talking 25 years ago. Fucking long time ago. Maybe more than that. Long time ago. Real long time ago. He didn't even have that much gray hair, in fact, back then. He had like a little patch and the rest was all black. And that's when like dudes weren't really like dyeing their hair. So that's how I remember him. When he had like that little white little bit like that, that was it. And those were them dudes back then. I ain't seen that man in fucking long fucking time. Oh no, I saw him back with Adrian Broner. With Adrian Broner. He was back promoting. He had like Adrian Broner or some shit. He had like another fighter. I ain't seen him since. Yeah, I saw him then. That's the last time I saw Don King active in boxing. Was with Adrian Broner. He had a fight and he signed to Don King. That's it. That's it. I thought I didn't see him before that, but yeah, now that I remember that, that's the last time I seen him. That's it. Benavides and Bivol too. That's a crazy fight. I think that knee injury is more than what they're saying when everybody was exposing him. And I said it, I got receipts. When he was walking up the stage, he was favoring his knee, and it was apparent. You could see it. I think the knee injury is gonna play a factor, guys. Yeah, I really do. And not only do I believe that it's gonna play a factor, shit, I drank all my drink. Yeah, I did. Um, I think it's gonna play a factor. I think he might not have the right push off the knee. And like I said in my other video, I said if Dimitri Bivol wants to test that knee out, throw a couple punches up, get close, grab him, and apply your weight on him. Make him push you with his legs. Make him push to the knee. Grab his arm, clinch again, wait until the referee breaks you up. Push down on him. The weight down like this, grab like that, clinch, push down. Put pressure to his knees early in the fight. Round 1, 2, and 3. See if it gets out. If his knee doesn't give out, and you got at least, you got to be in the ring to feel these kind of things. This is not something like strategy kind of thing, like, right? This is kind of like you feeling the person out, right? Like in a fight, right? You at home, the viewer, might not see some certain punches. Sometimes I can be real tight with the guy, hit him like this, and I can hear him go, like that. I hear that. You didn't hear it. So I know that I hit him in the rib. The next round, I'm going to target that rib because I heard him. See? And those are some things you might not know. So when he has him against the rope and he's testing out his knee, if he goes, and he hears that, and then it becomes visible. Then he's like hobbling. Now we see it. But he probably knew it first. If he catches on to it, but that would 100% be one of the first things I do. Would be, circle a little, jab, grab, on the rope, push him back to the rope, lay on him, make him push you off. Let me see how that shit is working. You know what I mean? Might give him a little Charlie horse. I'm sorry. I'll keep him up. All right. Yeah, I mean, hey, a low blow is not, it's a foul, right? But is it in the game? Yeah. Could you utilize it to your favor? Yeah. If you're hurt, guy's chasing you, or you're out of breath and you're tired, you need some time, go downstairs. You get them good enough, they're going to give them 5 minutes. But, he gets the same 5 minutes. You know what I mean? So, but he's got to, he got hit in the balls now. A lot of fighters are told that in the gym. Do they use it in the moment? Not really. I've seen some fighters like Mayorga. Mayorga used that back in the day. Yeah, he did. He was a dirty fighter. He'd smoke cigarettes and shit. He fought Felix Trinidad, Mayorga, right? And guys like that used to use it like that. I know a lot of fighters that were like, but it was smart. It was smart. It's something that you can use, like taking a knee, taking an 8 count, right? When Canelo Alvarez had Jamel Charlo hurt, he knew that he took a big punch just before that. And what did he do? He utilized the rule that's in place. He took a knee. He chose to kneel down to get 8 seconds, clear his mind. The referee probably gave him an additional 2 to 3 seconds saying, hey, step this way. Let me see your gloves. What year is it? Step back. Come forward. Okay. You just got a few more seconds right there. Right? So by utilizing that kneel, you took 8. How effective was that for Jamel Charlo at the time? It was so effective, in fact, he survived the round and he made it to the 12th round and he didn't get knocked out. Had he took that shot and said, man, fuck this, I'm going to try to get it back, and would have exchanged with Saul, he was going to get knocked out. He was out on his feet. So that's why that would play out in that way. So, fight fans, listen, guys, it's been amazing. It's getting late right now. We all open 10. I just wanted to get on, talk a little bit with you guys and everything. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for sharing. Please hit them like buttons. Let's get these videos up. I need these lights to get up. So Bam Bam Frontline, Armando, Duran, what's up? How you guys doing? Y'all keeps talking Spanish on the channel, bro. Oh shit, Frontline, you all right? You getting your kids from the store? That's right. You out there in Florida, out on the front line, bro. Yo, I hope everything goes okay. Um, at the front line, que le pase bien, bro. Tú y tus hijos, que Dios esté con ustedes. Whether it's in Florida, whatever, wherever it is, there's a lot of places that are going through storms now. So and shit like that. Tampa direct hit coming. Yeah, I haven't been watching the weather. We're good, Edwin. Hmm. That's always that's always iffy out there. I got a brother out there in Florida right now and shit. I haven't called him in a couple days neither. In fact, gonna make me call him and shit. Check in on him. So anyway, fight fans, thank you for tuning in. Please drop a like on the video if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. And like always, have a blessed evening. Everyone out there, I wish you guys the best, you and your loved ones. From me to you guys from Round One Sports Talk. Um, Thank you for tuning in. Frontline, be safe. Armando, Duran, Bam Bam Boogie, all of you guys know we're here for each other. Until the next fight, until we meet again, the Notre Dame's world title is still up for grabs. Come by and see if you could be the lucky one to secure the Notre Dame's world title. So have a good night, gentlemen, and I'm on to the next one after this one here at Round One Sports Talk.